This is Katie Benz with Ellis Beetle Entertainment, and you're listening to the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Hello, this is Austin Taylor from Utah's second best city, Provo, and you're listening to the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 45 of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. My name is Chris Hollifield. I'm your host. This is my show. Welcome to it. IamSaltLake.com is going to be the website where you can connect with me in the podcast. You can listen to episodes. You got all the contact information right there. Connect with me. Tell me what you think of the show. I'd love to hear some feedback. I got a really great show for you tonight. I sat down with a couple of artists, podcasters, musicians, Jeramie, Verlardie, and Adam Vasquez from Cre801, the Punk N Pie Fraudcast. And we talked art, music. We talked about an upcoming event on March 2nd, Cocopelli's up on Highland. We talked about the artists that are going to have their artwork there, the charity or the free puppies. We talked about that, kind of what the art show is going to be helping support. I don't want to give away too much because we're going to be having that conversation coming up here shortly on the podcast. I do want to mention this episode's sponsor, Zag, Zag.com. If you're familiar with them, they have some really great skins for your iPad, your iPhone, the Invisible Shield, the Spark Charger. I don't know what I would do without my Spark Charger. I love taking it with me when my iPhone is about to die. I plug that in no matter where I'm at, and you can give your iPhone an extra charge or two and not have to even be near any power outlets. Click the banner on the website, the IamSaltLake.com website, shop the Zag website like you normally would, and they kick out over a few cents our way, helps keep the podcast going. Another really great way to show support is to hit the donate button. We have a donate button on the website as well. Kick on over $1 or $2, helps keep the podcast alive and well. There are two people I want to give a special thanks to, Sarah McPhee and Richard Epperson. Thank you so much for your recent donations. They are not going unnoticed, and they are definitely helping keep the podcast alive and well. Okay, I want to quickly mention a couple of shows from our friends at SaltLakeCityConcerts.net, which I would definitely suggest you check out as well and find out about all of the upcoming shows here in Salt Lake City. A couple of shows I want to mention that I'm really excited about is Testament on February 26th. And then there's a couple free shows, Anti-Flag and Alkaline Trio in the venue, March 15th, March 16th. Really excited about those. And then in May, another really fun show that I think will be is Power Man 5000 in the venue, May 2nd. You can buy tickets, SaltLakeCityConcerts.net. Give me a call on the voicemail line, 385-202-5926. Tell me what you think of the show, feedback, any upcoming events that you want me to play back on the show. I'd love to play those on there and get that on a future episode. Speaking of future episode, I'm going to play a song at the very end after we're done talking with Jeramie and Adam. There's a song by Salt Lake Whalefishers. Public Defender is the name of that song. I'm going to have Salt Lake Whalefishers on a very near soon episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. And so I just thought I'd play one of their songs to kind of give you a little bit of taste of what they're all about. And like I said, they're going to be on a very future episode. So I really appreciate you joining me today. And here's the conversation that I had with Jeramie and Adam. Enjoy. But anyways, let's get started here.
I'm suddenly shy.
You're suddenly shy.
No, we have nothing to talk about, right?
One of the biggest things I want to make sure to talk about and cover is which one of you is doing the art show, or both of you doing it together?
We're both.
Okay, so
Jeramie's the creator of it.
Okay, so Jeramie is a creator. Why don't you kind of introduce yourself and kind of a little bit about yourself now, just so people listening in can know who you are.
Alphabetically, or
sure,
height?
go ahead.
By height.
Probably,
by height.
Yeah, by height.
Because he's the creator of...
Jeramie Verlardie, the creator of Cre801, musician, somewhat of an artist, and podcaster.
Excellent.
Salt Lake City, born and raised.
Excellent. And what about you?
I am Adam Vasquez, the cousin of the creator of Cre801, and I'm also a podcaster. We have a podcast called Punk N Pie Fraudcast. I'm a musician as well, and I'm short.
So you guys are cousins?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's rad.
Yeah.
You know, especially since you guys seem to get along so well.
Well, I knew him from day one. You know, I'm a little bit.
Yeah,
older
we
than
grew
him,
up
so
together. We got
So
to,
yeah, you mentioned you grew up here in Salt Lake, and
well, in Copperton.
Copperton.
Yeah, do you know where that is?
Small little town towards Kennecott Copper Mine. It's just right at the mountain.
I've heard they have an awesome graveyard.
Yeah,
it's pretty
pretty cool.
It's
You
pretty
know,
creepy.
a lot of people go out there for pictures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a lot of bands I think do photo shoots out there.
Liquidiquist, I think, did their their photo shoot there.
So you're doing an art show on March 2nd. Why don't you share a little bit about that really quick?
It's an acoustic art show. It's at Kokopelli Coffee. It starts at 7 p.m. We're going to be, it's a fundraiser for a friend of mine's nonprofit called Free Puppies, and he trains labs for disabled children.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, wow, that's really rad.
Service animals for vets, and, you know, so we're going to be raising some funds for that. We've got a lot of good, like, painters, some
who are some of the artists? We were talking about that
Sergio
before.
Reynoso. He's a tattoo artist at Tattoolan. He's been Salt Lake for 30 something years. He's been tattooing. Really good artist, and he's a pretty political guy. He's got some political pieces that I think he's going to be showing. We've got JLJ, who's co-owner of Kokopelli's Coffee. He's a really good artist, amazing artist actually, and my brother Joey. He'll be showing his stuff. That's where Cre801 kind of started. I wanted to show his artwork, so that kind of just formed into this idea, you know.
And is this the first event like this?
This is the second
event. Mm-hmm. And where did you do where was the first
same
event?
Same place, same artists, except for we've added Sergio Reynoso and a couple different acoustic artists. And then Lance Everall, who is amazing too, a local musician, but his paintings are pretty unreal.
Yeah. Brad Barker.
And Brad Barker. Do you know Brad Barker?
Big Bad Brad.
Yeah.
Who is also a part of the.
Isn't he he's a DJ, right? On is it?
He was
back in the
okay.
early 90s.
Okay, for some reason I thought he was a DJ.
I think you're thinking of Brad Wheeler.
Big Bad tongue twister there.
But no, Brad Barker. Okay. He's lead singer of Victims Willing.
Okay,
and he's an artist too. A very, very good artist.
Mm-hmm. And how did you? I mean, just through Small Lake City, you kind of met all these artists.
These guys are all my friends.
Excellent.
Yeah. So it was like, man, I've got all these talented friends, and then as far as like the acoustic acts, Adam will be playing solo show.
Yep. A lot of these guys too. We've known them from playing and jamming with them too.
Yeah.
You know, our whole lives and stuff, and you know, a lot of musicians. They're not just musicians. They do all kinds of.
So the music. So you're going to be doing acoustic.
I'll be doing an acoustic.
Like what kind of acoustic? Just like rock.
I'm going
to
do some Bieber stuff.
Okay, excellent.
I think I'm going to do just a couple covers.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two of my stuff. Just to keep the crowd happy. I guess.
And what about some of the other bands? What?
It's all going to be. Well, there's only going to be one band, which is a 3-piece that I'm in. Called Fraud Smack. It's kind of just a cover band.
Okay. What kind of covers? Like
everything from Bob Dylan to Against Me to Pink Floyd. Who else do we? Tool.
We said Bob Dylan, so I'm definitely going to have to come. What time? I don't know if you mentioned. What time does it even start? The flyer.
7 p.m.
Okay, I don't know if the flyer even mentioned.
Maybe it doesn't.
What time? What time it started? And before I forget, we'll mention at the end of it, it's 3955 South Highland Drive. Is that correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Which actually isn't too far from where we're at now. No. So 7:00 probably until it's hard to say midnight, 11. 12,
probably
1 a.m. till people start getting frisky with each other and want to go home, I guess. But
and if you want to get a drink, bar named Sue's right across the street too. So don't let that keep you away.
Okay, yeah, I know. And Cruisers is right there, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's that really cool little video arcade place. Have you guys been over to that little video arcade that's right underneath Cruisers?
I think I heard about it on your podcast.
Yeah,
you and the atheist.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I'd love to. I need to hook up with that guy. I mean, this is an arcade. It's not Nickelcade. It's for adults.
Cool.
You know what I mean? It's like
Just
the old
Laser Shoot Larry.
Yeah, it's the old games that we loved as a kid,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, and they work, and so you go upstairs, you can get drunk at cruisers, and then go down and play video games.
Go down and have a seizure playing all the fast motion paced video games that we were used to.
What? So the artists are going to have selling some of their art that goes to the Free Puppies organization, right? Is that, or?
Well, they're going to be selling some of their art, and whatever they sell, whatever they decide to donate from their sales.
Okay.
But each artist will donate a piece, and then we'll do a raffle.
Okay.
So you could walk away with a really good piece for $1.
And probably even some tattoo work from maybe that maybe
cool.
I'm sure he'll get a lot of business.
Yeah. Where does he tattoo again? Did you say?
Tattoo Land is 1860 South and Main Street.
And he does an amazing. I mean,
we're
Jeramie's
covered in him.
his stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I heard him on the Let's Go Eat show, so
Yeah,
that's
he's
why
very
when
good.
you brought him up, I'm like, well, shoot, yeah, I remember.
And it's more of an experience when you go to Sergio.
Yeah.
It's you get a history lesson.
Yeah.
You get. I mean, it's hanging out with a little bit of discomfort wherever you're getting the
Yeah.
tattoo. You know, it's a good time.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see his paintings, and there's 2 more performers that I haven't mentioned.
Let me talk about
Chad Jensen, who was in Unfold, a punk band, the late 90s in St. George. He'll be playing acoustic set, and Tyler Privet from Mars and the Sweetheart Rebellion will be Maverick in the Sweetheart Rebellion. He'll be playing an acoustic set too.
You're in your band? What do you play?
Guitar, ukulele, little harmonica, and sing.
And then you play just a guitar, or do you sing as well?
Yeah, guitar and sing with my solo stuff. But I mean, Jeramie and I, our first band was together. I played bass in that band and sang.
And what don't you guys do together?
We pretty much
we've
done
done a
everything. we got divorced together.
Yeah,
we
same
we
year.
we got married the same year. Divorced 2 years later. Moved in together, and so we've always kind of.
Oh, so you guys
everything.
even live together now?
Not anymore.
I was like,
no.
Well, you guys got bunk beds or what? You know?
That'd be badass.
No, there's little race cars. Don't be silly. Like a bunk bed's going to support my
little race car beds. That's awesome. So who created Cre801 then? Who started that? You started that, and how long has that been around? Let's talk a little bit about that.
The first show was November 2nd.
Okay, so it's and then this is the second show, or no?
Yeah, this will be the second show.
Okay, and what inspired that? What made you decide?
Well,
let's do this.
Like I said, I wanted my brother to show his artwork, and he was too shy or just didn't want it, So I kind of looked around at my friends and how talented they were. Saw them a lot at their art shows, art shows that they were featured at, and I was like, I want to do my thing, It's kind of setting up shows where like the kids could come now, we're all like parents and stuff, and
we're all getting old.
We're all getting old, and it's a punk rock and metal kids putting on acoustic art shows. What it is.
So
all
you
grown up.
You see it mostly just doing art shows and music shows. What else? I mean, do you have any other plans to do with it?
I would say that again.
like do you have any other things you would like to do besides art and music shows?
Oh, with Cre801?
Yeah.
Not really. I just like to throw these fundraisers together. I do want to do like an all women show. So if there's like women artists, get a hold of me on Twitter or something at Cre801, Cre801, and maybe incorporate like hip hop or something in future shows.
That'd be really cool, and I'll definitely put all of the contact information in the show notes so people can get in touch and find out about this art show. And how did you guys meet the guy at the coffee shop? I mean, it seems like you're pretty good friends with him too, or
he's a friend of mine throughout the years.
Friend of yours as well.
I think I played in a band called Blindfold 801. I played at his mom's restaurant back in the day called the Pitcher's Mound. Do you remember that? Were you around for
it sounds familiar, and I probably
and then just like kept re-meeting him with other friends. We just
keep bouncing into the same people throughout the years.
That's Salt Lake City for you, really.
I mean, oh man, I haven't seen you since 1996 or whatever, and then everybody's doing their own thing, and it all kind of comes back and intertwines into what everybody's doing.
Or people move away and then they move back, and you're like, holy cow, what happened to you? You know, and I got 3 kids
you
now.
want a place? I'm looking for a venue. Oh,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah.
doing? Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of just worked out.
Is it pretty good coffee there or what?
It's great coffee. Yeah.
Good
menu.
They got food there too.
Food, yeah.
What kind of food they have?
They have like sandwiches, like they have vegetarian options too. I mean, they're just cool little hip spot.
Let's talk a little bit about you guys. You guys do a podcast as well together. Share a little bit about what that's all about.
Let's see. We started that in October 2010.
Yeah.
Called the Punk N Pie Fraudcast. It started, like I was saying earlier, it started with us wanting to talk about music and like what inspired us to be the big, huge rock stars that we are today.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went from a really structured idea to, once we got in front of the microphones, just having a good time. I mean, music's still always a big topic, but I mean, we get into like comedy, other podcasts that we like listening to, what's on TV, movies. So
it's basically just a bunch of friends hanging out, having a good time.
That's exactly what it is.
It's a bunch of adults who schedule a play date and then hit record.
Yeah.
And, beg our significant others not to listen to it.
I won't get into that. Podcasts have gotten me into trouble a few times.
Oh yeah.
You want them to listen to it, but
but don't listen to that part. No.
Yeah, exactly. So the website. I mean, how can people find your podcast? It's on iTunes.
We're on iTunes.
Okay.
We're on Podomatic.
Okay.
I think the only 2.
And I'll get the links
on Facebook.
I'll get the links.
I'll
get the links on. What's your Facebook site on that? So people.
Punk N Pie Fraudcast podcast.
Punk
is the Facebook, and then we're on Twitter. It's at Punk N Pie Fcast. So
okay. And how many episodes have you guys done on that?
Oh man, we were really good for the first couple of years, and we did at least 3 shows a month.
Well, a couple of years is all I needed to really notice.
Yeah,
okay, you guys know what you're doing.
No, we don't know what we're doing at all, to be honest.
We brought in. Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
We've started bringing in people and interview them too. And
we've
a lot of friends.
Didn't you guys interview the guy from the Pie Hole? Or talk to somebody from the Pie Hole, or was I totally? Am I totally mistaken?
That's what we call the room
right.
that we.
Okay. For some reason,
so
I thought you talked
that
to.
There was a Pie Hole.
Yeah.
And so, like, we'd have friends come over and they'd play acoustic sets on the show, and then I'm like, oh yeah, welcome to the Pie Hole. We're gonna, just being a goofball.
Okay.
And then I find out later that there's the Pie Hole in downtown Salt Lake. And I'm like, I got to call it something else. So what we were calling it, the butthole. Welcome to the butthole.
It probably smells more like that. That's a little room crowded with guys. So
yeah. So that was a big.
Yeah. Okay. Because I remember like the first time you ever emailed me, and I saw some. I'm like, oh, the Pie Hole. I'll have to listen to that episode or something like that. So I'm okay. So I'm glad you cleared that up, because. I would have spent hours looking for that episode and being upset. Where the hell is that at? Trying to find it. So, it's been really interesting doing this podcast. Like when I first got into podcasts, it seemed like I couldn't find any from Salt Lake. And then now, I don't know if they're just finding me or whatnot, but it's like there's a lot of podcasts.
There's a lot.
In Salt Lake.
1980s cartoon podcasts.
In Salt Lake?
Provo. There's the Horrorcast.
Yeah.
See, I usually just search like Salt Lake City and then see what I find, and it's usually just like church-related stuff.
Yeah, it's like, like we were saying, like everybody that growing up. I mean, we were in a lot of punk rock bands and stuff, like metal bands and stuff, and you just hear of, oh, he's got a podcast too, and it's like I knew that guy in the '90s, when he was the drummer of such and such band, and now he's got a podcast, and then you start listening, and they start mentioning other people that they hung out with, and they got podcasts. There's a ton in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just hard to.
You just have to find them.
That's it. That's all.
And that's even what's been kind of fun with doing this, is getting to meet other podcasters and then usually try to find time to listen to. Do you guys listen to a lot of podcasts?
Oh, tons.
What are some podcasts you guys listen to? Just because I'm sure people are always looking for recommendations.
I love Joe Rogan Experience.
You know, okay.
That one comes up a lot. Honestly.
That's hard for me to listen to because you have to commit like a
3 hours.
I drive
a day into listening to that.
I drive for a living,
way.
so
I'm the same way, and I'm constantly by myself as well.
Yeah,
but still 3 hours to me.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a long time to dedicate oneself to listening. You know, I'm an hour max, so I listen to like Bill Burr Monday morning podcast,
which I haven't listened to that one yet, to be honest
Amazing.
with you. Yeah,
I mean, the guy's
I love Bill Burr, so
genius. You know, Chelsea Peretti, Jeramie turned me onto that one.
Called Chelsea.
Chelsea Peretti.
Have you listened to that one, Chris?
I haven't. No,
she's insane, dude. And
I feel like I listen to a lot, but then when people start telling me, I'm just like, oh god.
How Did This Get Made is a good one.
That is a really good one.
Yeah,
I think didn't they just get sued with that whole? Did you guys hear about that whole thing with Adam Carolla and I think it was them or somebody, the whole patent on podcasting? Some company said they had the patent on podcasting, and so now there's this whole lawsuit thing. And
I used to listen to Carolla too.
Yeah.
His is pretty entertaining.
His is long too, though.
His is long. His is daily. His is daily.
But
that's why
it isn't. It's like if I found a really cool podcast, I mean, they could talk for 6 hours and I'd listen to it. But it's just like I like to kind of spice it up.
Yeah,
comedy ones or
like Mark Maron. There's some episodes like did you guys hear the Patrice O'Neill Mark Maron? Like that thing could have went on for like 3 days straight, and I would have been like, "Wow!"
Yeah, Dave Grohl one. Did you listen to Dave Grohl one?
That was brilliant.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I need to see that movie.
Yeah.
Have you got? I haven't had
a chance to see it. In
Sound City.
I had some friends that got to see him perform when he was just up here in Sundance.
You did see him?
No. I had some friends. I was kind of told, well, maybe you can go, but then I wasn't able to go.
I don't think that guy gets as much credit as he deserves. I mean, he gets a lot of credit.
Dave Grohl.
But Dave Grohl is one cool ass dude, man.
Yeah, listen, he also did an interview on the Nerdist. I don't know if you guys listened to that. The Nerdist talking about the big mixer and all that.
And he was on that Lemmy documentary talking about Lemmy from.
See, and I didn't see that. I need to watch it.
Dude, anytime Dave Grohl's on anything audio or anything visual, you just got to watch it because the guy is entertaining no matter what he's talking about, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen to these podcasts, the Nerdist and Mark Maron and all you people out there listening too. Because and
there's
amazing.
Some days, I mean, I'll be like, just, delete. You know, I can't get to all of them.
Have you checked out the new David Lee Roth podcast?
I haven't, no. I've heard about it, but...
I mean, it's David Lee Roth on a podcast.
It's got to be bananas.
I mean, you see him kicking and, you know, and that's exactly what it's like just listening to it. You're smiling, you know, just like, wow.
Well, I think it's great. All these celebrities that are doing podcasts, it's like you can keep up with them. You know what I mean? It's like you can follow them. I mean, follow them on Twitter, then follow their podcast.
Yeah.
Well, the podcast is perfect because you could do your own thing. You don't have to.
You don't have the FCC running down your throat. And,
you don't have anybody. Really it's your voice, you know, and that's why this one's so great for you. You know, this is what your voice, you know.
Yeah. This is my Salt Lake City voice.
Well, it's great because the way you talk about Salt Lake City on some of your episodes, I'm like, man, this guy really likes, you know, like
I like living here.
Badass, dude. I really
let me share a secret. I hate it. I hate Salt.
Get on a bus and go down there again.
You know, I've actually been told by people, they're like, man, because I have, you know, I'll get listeners out of state and they're like, man, I kind of want to move to Salt Lake now, and I'm like,
it's really an awesome,
you know, and I'm gonna, and people are gonna be like, man, you're kind of ruining this little secret, you know. And how cool would it be if, like, all of a sudden our population doubles just because of our just because of this podcast? Oh man, so what do you guys? I mean, okay, so we're talking about Salt Lake. I mean, what do you guys like about living here? What are some of your favorite things about Salt Lake?
Oh man, there's tons of stuff.
I mean, are you guys snowboarders or skiers at all, or mountain people, or
younger and more limber? But
that's kind of how I am.
But I mean, the music you always get good bands coming through here. There's plenty of venues to see bands here. There's even still a couple of all age venues and stuff.
Yeah, you got the Kilby Court and Shred Shed.
And there used to be like tons more. There was like Real Ride,
yeah.
And,
I remember that place.
Dude, that place was insane, dude. That was like the coolest place ever.
Rocky Mountain Dance Country.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool things. I mean, the music scene. I haven't really been into the music scene here lately, but.
And that's kind of how I have, in doing this podcast, has kind of made me have to kind of jump back into it a little bit harder. You know, I got my favorite local bands, But
Who are some of your favorite local bands? What's out there to listen to right now?
Well, I mean,
Like I listen to the Folk Hogan.
Yeah, well, Folk Hogan is brilliant.
Dude,
I mean,
those
they
guys
they
are awesome,
they
man.
are really on top of it. I don't know if you guys saw. I think I posted something about they're doing the Anti-Flag or the free Anti-Flag
Yeah, I
show.
saw that.
Folk
Yeah.
Hogan's actually
Retweeted
opening up for Anti-Flag.
Oh wow.
So I don't know. And then there's the Alkaline Trio show the next night. I don't know if there's any local bands playing that. That's a really killer deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Free-
and those
free
guys in
show.
Folk Hogan, like I met Canyon and Moses maybe, dude, weeks before they started Folk Hogan.
Yeah.
And I just met him at a bar one night, and I just barely stopped drinking, so I'm kind of not knowing what to do at a bar, without just getting hammered. And I
It's
started
hard,
talking,
isn't it?
It's insane, dude.
Yeah, there's nights because I try not to drink
When
as
you
much.
drink 20 years
Yeah.
and you don't know how to do anything. It's like, it's Tuesday night. How do I do this? But I meet these guys, and we just talked about music all night.
Yeah.
And those guys are solid guys. They know their stuff. Both two amazing musicians. And that band, probably the coolest band name on the planet.
Isn't it great?
It's
Folk
great. It's
Hogan,
great.
dude.
Yeah.
You can't get better than that. I mean, I've tried.
REO Speed Demon. That's a pretty good band name.
Yeah, that one. John Cougar Concentration Camp.
That's pretty good too.
Are these just made up names?
No,
for
No, these
Oh,
are bands.
yeah.
These bands from back in the day.
Oh, okay. What about did you guys ever listen to John Ross Boyce and His Troubles? They're from Utah County. I did an interview. I think it was like my 9th episode or something like that. But I actually never heard them until they came on the podcast, and now I'm just like blown away by them. But they play up here in Salt Lake quite a bit.
What type of music are they?
Just rock and roll, angry rock and roll.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, you asked me how to describe a band. It's like, you got rock and roll, all country, hip hop, it's like, and then hip hop, and I keep mentioning this podcast after podcast, The Atheist just blew me away.
I like that a lot.
The interview I did, and I'm not even really into hip hop really. I'll listen to it, but, and then you got Hectic Hobo,
Yeah, I listened to that episode.
yeah,
today,
which I've talked to those guys. Utah County has a lot of really rad. What's that? Is it? Oh, gosh, my mind went blank. They just sent me some tracks of some of their music. Polytype, I think, or something. I apologize if I butchered your name, but they are it's like electronic music from Utah County. Another band from up north, September Say Goodbye, I think I've been getting a lot of MP3s emailed to me, so it's been really cool to check it out and check out the local music scene.
Well, if you're a band out there listening to this podcast, you can send us some shit too.
Yeah, no,
we can talk about something other than 227 or other 80s sitcoms or whatever,
You guys a fan of 80s sitcoms or what?
We just end up talking about it.
Who's the boss or what? Come on,
who's the boss? Yeah, we talked about that.
Hey, hey.
But so you guys obviously keep yourself busy. I mean, you guys got a lot of stuff you do. I mean, what motivates you? What drives you to want to do all this stuff? I mean, typically I think most people just they come home from work at 5:00 and they hit their 30-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon and call it a night. But you guys,
I quit drinking 3 years ago. So.
Okay, so both you guys both quit drinking then, huh? Or what? So you guys kind of got to keep busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
Any particular reason you quit drinking, or would you rather not get into that?
I'd rather not get into it, but I mean, one reason I became a dad, so that was probably the number one reason.
I just always find it interesting because I've never really been a big fan of drinking, so it's like I always find it interesting the people that love it and then the people that quit. It's like, what got you to that point? You know, saying, okay, no more drinking, but. I can
hangovers were too much for me anymore.
Getting to work.
I just grew out of it. I don't know. I didn't want to be the 40-year-old at the club.
Isn't that kind of weird? Isn't it kind of weird?
That's really where I saw myself. I'm like,
yeah.
But I mean, I'll still go for shows and stuff. But
you still buy those striped shirts for the club.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I do. There's times I'll go do karaoke or something, and I'm like, man, am I the oldest guy here? But doing all these though, there has to be some rewarding things. I mean, what would have been some rewarding things with doing your art shows and your music shows and the podcast and well,
the most rewarding thing is honestly for me is hanging out with friends at the art show. You know, it would be so rare to get all these people together. You know, the Sergio, my tattoo artist, my brother, my cousin, you know, Brad Barker, all these guys are like really good friends of mine. And then we're turning around and giving proceeds to charities.
Yeah,
so it just
these charities, the last two, I mean, you've had two shows, the two charities that you've chosen are really cool charities, you know. Like the Road Home was the first one, right?
Right.
And then this one, what's it called?
Free Puppies.
Free Puppies. Like that is a solid. I mean, do you know what that's all about and stuff? Like
the Free Puppies.
Yeah.
Talk about it. What's that all about? Because I mean, I'm familiar with the Road Home. So I mean, when you did that,
did we mention it? At the beginning
you mentioned it at the beginning, but I don't think we got into depth about it at all.
Well, I mean, it's not my charity. It's a friend of mine's.
Yeah.
But he trains dogs.
Okay.
And then gives them to autistic children.
What kind of dogs? I mean,
Golden Labs.
Okay.
Golden Labs and vets and just service animals. And
that's a cool thing, dude. You know.
So that is that his full-time job then, or no?
No,
he just does it for part-time for volunteer, more or less.
Yeah.
So he raises these dogs at his own home.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how many dogs does he train at a time?
I think he just has one right now. We did a fundraiser in like November.
Okay.
At the Piper Down, and he got like $3,000 or something.
Wow.
He raised that much money, which paid for one dog.
I'm gonna have to get his information. I'd love to bring him on.
I mean, he'll be there. He'll be there.
Okay. I was gonna say I'd love to really sit down and pick his brain a little bit.
And anybody could donate to his fund at any amount in America.
Okay.
Just under the Free Puppies. So
and that's what made me want to play this show, because I didn't play the original Cre801.
Okay.
I was kind of on a break. I just didn't want to play shows for a while, you know.
It kind of burned out.
Yeah, I've been doing it for almost 25 years, you know. So I was like, I just need a break from not playing. So, you know, I went and seen the first Cre801 show, and it was cool. And then we were talking about this next one that he was putting together on the podcast, and he was telling me about the charity, and I was just like, wow, man, that's a cool charity, dude. And I like asked him on air, so he couldn't say no. I'm like, can I play that show? But that's what inspired me to play. I was like, wow, I'm gonna, you know.
Yeah. Is there like a goal amount that you're hoping to raise from it, or or
not
accomplishment,
really.
Just whatever?
It'd be nice to pay for a dog, but that's asking for a lot of people.
Is it really that expensive to raise a dog?
So.
I guess. I mean, we got a dog.
But... I mean, maybe it wasn't 3,000, maybe it was 2, but I know it was a couple thousand. You know,
yeah.
but yeah, you got to think about food and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know how long he trains them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could take a year. I mean, who knows? So
well, we rescued our dog Falcor. If he might get home here before this is over.
Can
and you guys
ride
might
him in the sky.
Yeah. No, he looks like Falcor. I mean, I kid you not. I mean, he couldn't walk when we first got him, you know. And I mean, I grew up with animals, but I never loved an animal until this dog came into our life, and my wife was just like, we have to adopt this dog. Yeah. We have to get him. Our friend Kat was fostering him, and we were over at her house, and she's like, let's get him. And when we first got him, he couldn't walk, so we'd take him out, and when he would you know, urinate and shit all over himself, and we'd have to bathe him. And I was like, what did we get ourselves into?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Anyways, to make a long story short, he now walks. He can go up and down stairs.
Wow.
He gets tired easy, but we've had him for a year and 3-4 months, and is the nicest dog here. I mean, so pretty much, I mean, there's dogs out there that need love and need help, and then obviously with these dogs, they are given to, you said, autistic children.
Yeah.
So that's really rad. I mean, dogs are very therapeutic.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And dude, is there a website for this that I could put on the show notes? At least
I think it's just on Facebook.
Just
Facebook,
okay,
Free Puppies.
And I'll try to find the link or get the link for that. So if you're listening in, go refer to that so you can get in touch, because this sounds like a great cause.
Yes.
So I mean, obviously, you know, back to art and music. I mean, that's a big part of your life. You mentioned that you've been playing music for 25 years plus, or at least 20 years. Let's say, to even be conservative. I mean, Where do you
Yeah,
guys,
it's about 20.
where do you guys think you would be without art and music? I mean, what would life mean to you?
I
do you think?
have no idea. I've thought about that quite a bit because that's pretty much all that drives me, you know. I mean, besides my family and being a parent and stuff,
Yeah.
and being a husband. Without art and music, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think
I'd be pretty lost.
I was kind of a wild kid, and music calmed me down. Like,
yeah.
music is really therapeutic too. You know, you're having a crazy day, and you listen to your metal or whatever to get all that out of you, or something slower, and to calm you down or whatever. But
what are some bands you guys are listening? I'm always curious of, like, besides, I mean, we talked about local bands, but on the bigger spectrum, what's some music?
Some music that I'm listening to now.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's new. I'm not really into newer things.
No, it's so like classic rock then, or
yeah.
what?
Oh yeah. I love Stones, Beatles, Zeppelin, but I do a little hip hop, punk.
Yeah.
Listen to B. Dolan's album today. I don't know if you spoken word, like indie rapper, really good stuff.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. I'm the same. I listen to. One day Billy Ocean, Lionel Richie. The next day Ghost, Descendants. Motley Crue, Anthrax.
Pretty much similar to my musical interest.
It depends on your mood,
mood,
you could wake up one day and want to hear Devo all day, or just it just depends on your mood. One thing can be like, what I want to hear right now is Montel Jordan. This is how you do it, and then have it be like a '90s R&B day, and then at the same time you're wearing a Johnny Cash shirt and
right.
Do you remember the age when you felt like you can only listen to one genre of music? Like
that's a punk kid, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was. Back in my punk days, right? Like, like it was like you felt, I listened to a little,
Well, not to mention your friends giving you shit for if you had some, I remember I had a New Edition cassette.
Yeah.
And like if a friend came over, I was like struggling to hide it. Like I do not want my metal friends knowing that I listen to Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh man, no, those were the days.
Yeah.
It seems like we all kind of struggle with that.
Curtains. It's like the crying game, dude. Yeah, putting on all this embarrassing music when you're by yourself.
And that kind of even leads me into podcasts. I mean, I got kind of burned out of music. It seemed like I was listening, I was like, okay, I've listened to this song already, and I just needed something else to listen to it. And I mean, they're free, so it's like you really can't beat that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I always say, like, back in the day, I hated more music than I actually liked. But now it's the complete opposite. I think I like more music than I dislike,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think you just kind of grow into, oh yeah, that's good, and I could like that, without having to explain myself or feel bad about it or whatever.
Do you find yourself like listening to bands that like 5 years ago you said you hated?
Oh yeah,
You're like, wait a minute, I said I hated this band.
Dude,
all the time.
High,
I eat crow all the time.
Like Depeche Mode and The Cure, and then as soon as you step away from, I think it's your young friends is what inspire you to hate so much music,
right?
Is because you would say something and you're just inspired to say, oh yeah, that sucks because
because it's not Bad Religion or whatever. Which, by the way, their new album's really good.
I haven't listened. I saw that they're coming like in April.
Yeah,
they're playing like in the venue or something. But
and that song Mr. Brett sings is sick. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, John.
Isn't he? He's a brilliant writer.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
all of them are. I mean, they're all like professors, aren't they? At like
something
university.
Like that,
I mean, for a band, first time I saw them, like 1991, I think it was, out at the fairgrounds. It was them and Rancid and Green Day, Recipe for Hate tour, I think it was.
Oh wow!
So I mean, that was dated myself a little bit there. You know what I mean? But that was a really fun show.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, back to Salt Lake City a little bit. What do you think the biggest misconception that people have about Salt Lake, like outsiders? I mean, you played in you played bar shows and stuff like that, I'm sure. And I'm sure people that don't live here have been there and stuff you've heard people say.
If like I lived in South Carolina for a 9-month period.
Okay.
Everyone thought that I was Mormon, polygamist, had a bunch of wives, What else? They were surprised that I had tattoos.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think that there's tattoo shops here.
Yeah.
But some
And
of
there's a
the
lot
best tattoo artists are out of Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a ton.
There's a lot of shops.
Like,
Just
I remember
Cruise
back
State.
in the day, there was 3.
Right.
There was ASI, Southern Thunder, and Susie M's.
Yeah.
And now there's a tattoo shop. There's one in Riverton.
Yeah.
In Harriman.
Yeah.
There's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Burns, Midvale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big misconception. Everybody is Mormon and everybody is a certain way and not open to other. I don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions, I think, about.
I think Salt Lake City's one giant misconception.
Yeah.
like
I
in
don't
a
think
good
people-
way.
yeah,
In
I
a
don't
good
think
way. I
people
mean,
know
people
how
come
cool
here
the
and
place
they're
is.
like, wow, okay, this is, and again, back to what I'm doing. I'm trying to show the different side of the
Right.
city.
And it's
But then,
way more laid back
again,
than-
you go outside. You go, you can go 10 miles north and 10 miles
Yeah, yeah.
south. Go past that point of the mountain, and it gets a little different
Yeah.
down there. But
And-
I mean, I could say, my mom lives down in Provo, so I kind of spent my later teen years down there. But it's changing too. No,
Yeah.
no dissing to them, but this whole area is kind of.
And there's
Kinda.
cool stuff all the time. There's the farmers market, like you said.
Yeah.
There's
Craft
art
Sabbath,
shows, Craft Sabbath. There's cool stuff going on all the time. Ghost tours in October.
Have you done the ghost tours?
I haven't, and I've wanted to really bad. I think it would be cool because they got the.
I should take the
Lily E.
podcast
Gray
on a
stuff,
ghost tour.
You should.
There you go.
Don't they do it year round though? The ghost tours?
I'm not sure how that works. The one website that I was looking at only did it from like August to I think November.
Yeah.
But I never did make it to one of them. But I would be curious to go and see because they got the Perry Theater or the Perry.
The Perry Theater, I think.
Perry
Yeah.
Theater. There's the Lily E. Gray grave
Uh-huh.
over here in Salt Lake
Oh,
Cemetery.
yeah.
There's what was it? The old I don't know. There's more stuff that I can't think of right now, but there's kind of a big ghost history here.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to. So there's all kinds of stuff in Salt Lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's ghosts. There's
If you guys could have any superpower, what would it be? I'm always curious.
Man.
I'm always
Holy
curious.
moly.
There's a whopper question for you.
I would turn water into wine, dude. No, I don't know.
I don't know. Superpower. Wow. I really didn't prepare for that question here.
Come on. Just
I
the
would-
first thing that comes to your head.
Oh, it's way too silent.
Yeah, way too uncomfortable
I'll
now.
explain your shoes while you think about that. So they're black.
Well, what about you?
I'd fly.
Come on.
I'd fly.
No, I would
there.
totally-
I'd
I would-
fly.
Oh, you turn
I would
water into
turn
wine.
Water into wine.
What
I
for?
would walk
What
on
for? What
water.
reason?
I would pull loaves of bread out of one basket constantly all day. Just be like, "Yo, what up? You hungry? Want some bread?"
Yeah.
I would die and then come back 3 days later. I would. What else, dude? I would get. No, I don't know what I would do, dude.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. It took me a second to think about that one.
I just went the R. Kelly route, I'd
Oh,
fly.
you would piss on girls?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
I would become a gnarly pop star and just piss on people. That's my.
Let's talk about flying, dude.
is that a superpower or just getting away with something?
Yeah, probably. His mind's telling him no, but his body is telling him yes.
Oh man.
There's a taste of our podcast right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know how to.
What would your superpower be?
My superpower,
Yeah.
I think, to read people's minds.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
man, your head
Wow.
would explode right now.
You'd be like, get the hell out right now.
You would just look at me and be like, dude, you got to go right now.
No, I actually, the more I think about that, though, as much as I think that would be my superpower, I don't know if I'd really want to know what everybody's
No, I think
thinking.
it would be terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going on a first date knowing that shit? any situation, meeting a girl's parents.
But then you would know what they think about you.
Yeah, but then you would be like, fuck you, dude. You would say, they would open the door and they'd have this thought about you and you would just be so offended. Like, you don't even know me.
But then they open the door and they're thinking awesome thoughts about you.
Yeah.
You're like, score.
Yeah, but how
And
often,
then you don't have to waste
often
money
would
on
that
dinner.
happen?
You don't have to waste money on a movie. You don't have to waste money on anything.
I guess that's true. But
You could just be like, all right, shut the door,
It would be more
boom.
negative than it would be positive.
That's true, because I think we all have thoughts about people that like aren't always true. You know, I find myself in a conversation, I'll be like, well, you know, maybe I don't think that way or something. You know, it's.
right.
I think we think certain ways, but then if you get to know, you're right. You're right.
No, I'm not right. I mean, no, you know what? I am right. I am right.
All right. Well, so anyways, back to the art show. I want to touch a little bit more here before we completely close this out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hear it all the time. They're like, okay, I don't even know the steps on how to do it or how to get something like that. I mean, organizing an event it's a big task. What would you recommend for somebody that say wanted to organize an art music show like this? What pieces of advice?
I would say do it with friends.
Do it with friends.
I would say
What if they're like, well, I don't have any friends?
If you don't have any friends, make some friends. I would say go to other art shows.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of network. Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter's great for finding people. You know, that's how you and I
Yeah, exactly.
got introduced. And,
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
and that's how I set up this whole thing. I haven't even made any flyers yet, so I mean, it's all.
But do
just
people
on-
even fly?
I don't know.
You know
That's what I was
mean?
asking
I
my
was
brother
I was
today.
talking to somebody about that the other day. And I'm like, I kind of miss flyers.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what? That was an adventure to do that. Like, you know, you make your flyer. It took a lot of work to do that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
making your flyers, and then you got you know, the people in your band or whoever you're with flyering. You go to certain places, drop
Right.
your flyers off. Go to other shows, hand out your flyers. You know,
There used to be so many places that do that, and now it's like what? Drop them off at Cre801 and then go home. You know,
Or just
I mean,
make a Facebook invite.
Yeah, I mean, which
You're
I've
good
already
to-
done. So
yeah.
Oh, did you make? Because I don't know if I got one. I don't even know if
I
we're
don't
Facebook.
think we're Facebook friends. We're
Aw.
that would be my superpower. We would be Facebook friends.
Well, we'll change that
Okay,
after
all right.
if you would like to.
Yes, I would.
If you would like to, you know.
Besties on air right here.
Isn't it kind of embarrassing when somebody won't accept your Facebook friend request? You're like, oh, jeez. You know, and then you have to hang out with them later.
Yeah, when they bring it up like it's a real thing too. Why'd you defriend me? On
Oh,
Facebook?
that's
Like,
the
'cause
worst.
You're annoying on Facebook.
That's the word.
I am so tired of seeing your ugly kids' pictures and your stupid dog's
It
pics.
was bad during the elections too.
Oh, my God.
Everybody and their dog, and it's like,
my
you know what? That's cool. Whatever you want to
Right.
think about it, but it was
Yeah.
just like everybody thought everybody would change everybody else's opinion
Yeah,
with their Facebook
Right.
post.
I think Adam had a good post. It was politics. Look, I'm just like you, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I did kind of flip. A friend would post something. Okay, I'll vote for that guy now. Oh, you know, another person said something. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
you know, it is funny how people, or bumper stickers. It's like, okay, I
You know,
totally changed my
things
mind
that
with.
bug me the most on Facebook is the ones where they show a picture, say it's a dying baby,
Yeah,
and it's like this if you want this baby to survive.
I don't know if I've seen
Comment.
that.
No, I mean I'm exaggerating.
Or if this
of
gets
course.
1,000 likes.
Yeah, if it gets 1,000 likes, then God himself is going to come down and save this baby. Do nothing if you hate babies. It's like, what the fuck? Who made this meme, dude? You know? And it's the same with like supporting the troops. Like if you support the troops, comment
If you really support the
really
troops or
support
something
them.
like that, yeah.
do nothing if you love Osama bin Laden. It's like, really?
Where would we be without Facebook and Twitter?
Oh, I'd be
I
bored.
think we'd still be on MySpace, all happy, taking pictures from above.
But you know what I love is still having to explain things like Twitter to people.
Yeah.
You know, I've been using Twitter for like 5 years, and it's like I still have to explain it to you.
I
or
have
like,
to explain podcasts to my
oh,
friends.
isn't it ridiculous? I just say, well, it's like an online radio
Yeah.
show or something.
I make it sound way cooler than it is.
like how would you describe? You know, well, we have
You're walking in this room.
we have famous
Strippers
celebrities.
everywhere. Popcorn falls from the ceiling, dude, and it's not just regular popcorn. It's fucking kettle corn. So it's like amazing. And you sit in beanbags full of cottage cheese, and they're like, really?
can I be on this podcast?
Like, no way, dude. You're so fucking lame.
And then you're like, then you tell them like fake celebrities or real celebrities you've had on there. And
I was like, dude, Jon Stewart was on the other day. John Stamos just left.
R. Kelly came over.
R. Kelly came and pissed all over us.
Oh man, you guys have been a riot. So, anyways,
Are we gonna end on R. Kelly pissing off?
No. I mean, I just want to make sure.
Come to our charitable event, please.
Yeah. Well, no, that's.
I mean,
that's originally why we're here, is to talk about that event on the second. So, I just want to make sure we touch on, before I completely stop recording because of the pissing antics. So March 2nd.
March 2nd. Yeah. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Give it, it's like,
3955 South Highland.
Okay.
It's Cocapelli's Coffee. It's a little tiny coffee shop. It's badass. It's good coffee.
Hey, and if you can, carpool, because there's not a lot of parking up there.
That's true.
Okay.
It's very true.
Okay.
Like I say, there's going to be arts for raffling, and there's going to be prizes too. Simply Sushi tickets, gift cards, Groovies.
And so
gift cards.
if somebody wants to donate something to raffle for these free puppies, the organization, like, let's use my wife for an example with her clothing. If she wants to donate something, she could. You're still taking donations.
Oh yeah.
Obviously. Artists. You mentioned women's artists. You wanted to do something with some women artists in Salt Lake. So get in touch with either one of you guys or just Jeramie.
Yeah, I mean, I can relay stuff.
Okay. Excellent. Anything else? I mean, what other you like bands? Any other events coming up that you guys want to plug before we completely?
I'll plug my Bandcamp.
Let's plug that. What do you got? I mean, that's what we're here to promote.
It's Jeramie Verlardie, Jeramie Verlardie, Velarde.bandcamp.com, and it's just
kind of your solo music.
We're in a punk band called the Underachievers. That's on there. Just a different variety of music that I've recorded throughout the years, and everything's free.
And this, okay, so you're in these bands, and you brought me some CDs.
Yeah, I brought the Coppertone Park is Jeramie and myself.
Okay,
that's an acoustic thing we did. What 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay,
and we just did that, and we're gonna do some more stuff here later. And then this other CD that I brought you was a band that I was in a couple of years ago, Radio Courtesy.
Okay,
and I just have a bunch of discs, and I'm just kind of giving them away.
Awesome. Well, maybe they'll appear they'll appear on the podcast one day.
Yeah.
Possibly. But I mean, you can find us both on, the band camps or
and then in your podcast again,
Punk N Pie Fraudcast, PUNKN
PIE.
PIE. Yeah.
forgot how to spell it.
Punk and Roses. Punk N Pie Fraudcast. We're available on iTunes. Podomatic. We got our Twitter. It's Punk N Pie Fcast. We got a Facebook. You can like us. I mean,
you're everywhere.
We're trying to be
excellent.
And most of the stuff on the podcast is just us promoting our other music stuff too. So
that's what it's all about, really, too. Is getting the word out and having a good time.
Yeah.
And and hopefully I really do. I really hope people reach out to you guys because that's kind of, as I say a million times with every other episode, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's what I hope to accomplish. I want people to realize, I think a lot of people sometimes get intimidated when they see people. They're like, oh, he's a musician or he's an artist or, and then they're afraid to talk or ask for suggestions
I think it's like what it used to be in like the 80s when Motley Crue was big, Musicians aren't like that anymore,
Well, I
think you make a valid point with that. Yeah. I think they're just normal people.
Yeah, you're just normal people who love music. It's not about peeing on people anymore and stuff, crazy antics, fighting the establishment. I mean, there's fight still, but it's completely different now,
I will say all these artists that we are featuring at Cre801 are the nicest guys and the friendliest guys. A lot of art shows you go to, and I don't know, the artists, I'm not generalizing all artists, but some are a little pretentious and some act like they don't even really want to be there.
Some act like sound guys.
But yeah, so these guys are all super friendly.
And I mean, it might be kind of silly to ask. I guess they're all going to be there.
They'll all be there. Yeah,
obviously, they're not just dropping their art off. And it's all different mediums of art, or is it kind of similar?
It's all painting. They all have very different styles, though.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it too.
Yeah.
You know, and they all happen to be our friends, so it's very cool to just see, you know, everybody's like kind of different style and take on things, and you know, nothing's themed, so you know, it's whatever.
Yeah. And it goes back to saying, if you don't have friends, then come to the art show and maybe make some friends.
I mean, that's the same with not only if you're going to start something like a Cre801 or anything, but like if you're in a band, starting a band, make friends, go, you know, make friends with other bands, get a show going like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your band's not going to survive. You'll break up, and you'll need to start other bands with other people, right?
Yeah.
A band's not your life, man. You'll break up with bands.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I think that's a good place to end. I'll get all the show notes up on the IamSaltLake.com, and come and check out the art show on March 2nd.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Yeah,
it's been fun. Thank you so much, Jeramie and Adam, for sharing your story, for talking podcasting, for talking art, music. I had a really great time. Again, go to IamSaltLake.com/episode 45. I'm going to put all the information to connect with Cre801, their podcast, as well as the upcoming art show March 2nd at Cocapelli's. Make sure you check that out. It's for a really, really great cause. And so that's going to do it for another episode. I'll be back on Sunday. I'm here every Sunday and Wednesday, so definitely subscribe on iTunes. That way you don't miss an episode. I'm going to play a song here, Salt Lake Whalefishers, Public Defender. They're going to be on a very future episode of the podcast. Got a lot of really great guests lined up through the end of this month and March, going into April. If you want to be a guest, drop me an email. Tell me your story. IamSaltLake@gmail.com. You guys have a great night. Here's the Salt Lake Whalefishers.
First time I saw you was down at the courthouse in the dark room waiting for me. You asked me some questions, I told you no lies. I trusted you to keep me free. If I'm pleading innocent, will it go to trial? For I have no paid leave at work. You see, I just started down at the mine. My wife any day will give birth. You told me that this was an easy decision. You'll probably pay a small fine and 6 months probation if you plead no contest, but you will serve time. You stayed in the back rooms, I spoke to the judge. Those 2 words was all he'd allow. He pounded his gavel, you forfeit your bail, and 6 months in jail, take him now. That was the last time that I saw my wife. Disgusted, she called me a jerk. She said, you'll never meet your baby girl, and I was this town's only work. I spent the next 6 lonely months in a cell, just thinking about what I had done. I trusted the words of a public defender. If I had the money, I'd have won. The next time I saw him was down at the courthouse a week after they set me free. He asked me a question, I told him no lies. I'm taking what you took from me. I'll never forget the look in his eyes. That bullet went right through his heart. I killed a public defender that day. Now I sit in this cell here to